Communist China is a parasite. First, they infiltrate industries with Chinese government money and dump cheap imitations into the marketplace at undercut prices. The American companies can't compete. Bankruptcy follows, and China swoops in to buy the leftovers. Finally, with Americans solely reliant on the Chinese goods, China raises its prices. They have no competition, and the United States has no choice. There is no turning back. China's won, leaving a wake of destruction and despair in American communities. This unethical communist practice decimated the American furniture industry. Workers were left with nothing but keepsake bricks from their closed factories and former lives. As one of those workers poignantly said, "China could get our jobs, our timber, our whole 9 yards. But I thought at least that's one brick you won't get." Here in Ashland, Alabama, the Wellborn family took stock of this threat in 2016 and led the cabinet industry to combat the Chinese Communist Party successfully. So tell me about your legal fight against the Chinese Communist Party.
I had watched through the years the American furniture industry being taken over by the Chinese. I went to see the president, Mr. Trump, and certainly his administration was very helpful all the way, and that was great for our industry, and we've been doing well against Chinese. Chinese are down 93% year to date on imports into this nation. So that's what I call success. And it's all because of our president believing in what he believes in the American people and jobs for Americans. And I believe that what he does is what we need to continue doing.
Darcy has experienced the Chinese Communist Party's tactics firsthand.
It was little by little. So little by little means we would start buying something from China. Now it started off with rails and stiles, wooden components. And then China said, well, we can make the doors for you. And they would give you a really, really good price. You do the cost analysis, it was way cheaper to buy. Well, what happens is you start buying everything, you start getting rid of your equipment to the point, and you get rid of all your people, and now you're so reliant on China, eventually they start raising the price of those doors that you're buying. But you know what, it takes so much to get all that manufacturing back, and eventually they start raising the price to the point you think you can maybe, should we start manufacturing, should we not? At that point, they can actually start a company down the road and build the cabinets from start to finish, and then you lose all your business. It erodes, that's what happens. It starts small and it can take over.
Parasitic.
Parasitic, very much so.
So when the president allowed China to have more tariffs, so they can't do anti-dumping, which means, you know, the government giving them free product in order to come up here and they can sell it and undercut our price. I mean, I would be 30% higher, if not more. And now I'm coming in, if not the same price, you know, maybe 2% higher, and we can always work with that. I'm not constantly trying to figure out a way to price comp or cut pricing for our company. So it's just able to come in on a level playing field, you know, hopefully better American-made product.
So when you knew the Chinese Communist Party was a threat to your business, what did you do?
Well, we knew, you know, this administration has American first policy, and that's right what we needed. You know, we needed an administration that understood the domestic industry and also the domestic workers, and President Trump does. So we formed an association or a coalition of about 50 companies that got together and carried this to the trade courts, and actually won a 5-0 vote, one of the largest trade cases ever been brought for the Commerce Department.
So you won your case against the Chinese Communist Party 5-0. What does that mean, and what's the outcome?
What that means is it gives us 5 years where we're able to, they leveled the playing field and put about 60% tariffs and duties on Chinese cabinets coming in our market. It gives the American worker an opportunity to come to the table and be able to compete in a market that is already competitive just in the domestic industry. But now we have 5 years, and then after that there'll be a sunset review, and hopefully you'll get 5 more years. And maybe the Chinese Communist Party will leave our industry alone. The impact of the 5-0 vote against the Chinese Communist Party just shows how huge they were undercutting our market. When you get that kind of a complete vote, it shows they found huge dumping margins, and it saved our industry, and it saved over 250,000 domestic jobs, not just our company, but domestic jobs around this whole nation, U.S. jobs, good paying jobs, mostly in rural America.
What would happen if the Chinese Communist Party would have succeeded?
Well, it would end if they succeeded. And you know, and on our end, on the lumber and the log side of it, we found out through research that China was shipping in teams of people where they could go in front of the loggers, in front of the sawmills and all, and cut us off, and basically cut our resources off. We all talked, and Mr. Paul said, you know what, we're going to beat this. We're going to find out what's wrong, and through research, we did. We beat it, and if we hadn't have beat it, then we would have been without jobs. You know, it would have caused so many people, just like here, up to 2,000 people would lose their jobs if China would have won this.
I know what it would have done to our industry. It would have destroyed it. They were already about 40% of the kitchen cabinet industry. If they had not been stopped, they would have not been happy until they got 90% plus of our industry.
Small banks, small towns, they go out of business. Weeds grow up in the parking lots, and we don't want that for this nation because we lose all of our strength, our military strength, if we don't continue to fight this unfair trade practice, which is dumping the product way below cost and moving these jobs to China. We will lose the battle overall, and we cannot afford to do that.
Juan fled communist oppression in Cuba to have his new life attacked by the Chinese Communist Party. His first-hand knowledge of the threat gives him a passionate message to share.
Esto es lo que pasa. El sistema comunista, lo mismo en China, que en Norcorea, que en Cuba, no sirve. Eso lo que hace es que vuelve a la gente pobres a todos. Y no hay libertad, que esa es la razón por la que todo el mundo quiere venir a los Estados Unidos, por la libertad. Tienes libertad de expresión, libertad de moverte, libertad de hacer lo que quieras. Libertad es lo que uno quiere.
So, knowing communism as well as you do, what would happen if the Chinese communists came here and destroyed Wellborn?
Pasaría lo mismo que ha pasado donde quiera que el comunismo ha sido implementado. En cualquier país que el comunismo ha estado o está, esa gente no pueden vivir, no tienen vida. Yo no quiero que eso pase aquí en los Estados Unidos y por favor les estoy pidiendo, tú sabes que somos todos americanos, unámonos todos en esta causa, tú sabes, y digamos que no a los chinos y al comunismo.
With the help of the Trump administration, they won their World Trade Organization case against Communist China 5-0. This action saved over 250,000 American jobs. Chinese imports have dropped over 90%. Wellborn is expanding and hiring more American workers instead of laying off or closing their doors altogether. On a level playing field, American workers will always win. John, where are we right now?
We're standing in the middle of a big log pile of Alabama and Georgia trees, red oak, white oak, hickory, that we saw right here in our own very own mill.
So these are American trees.
These are American trees there, and they made right here in America, and we turn them into American-made cabinetry. The best.
Here.
Only here, only here.
So Wellborn is vertically integrated. What does that mean?
Vertically integrated means we start from basically the raw log and we process it here in our own mill. Most companies in our industry do not do that. We start from the green timber and saw it in the lumber, process it through our dry kilns, all the way to the finished product. Very unusual in our industry.
And it's all done here in the United States.
Absolutely, right here in good old USA.
What does it mean to be a plant manager here at Wellborn?
Well, it means just coordinating a lot of stuff. In a big plant like this, we produce 200 cabinets a day, so there's a lot of coordination, how to manage the people, how to make sure you got enough people and enough people to do the job.
If the Chinese Communist Party would win, they wanted to take over your industry, what would happen to your community?
The communists want to destroy everything it touches. Everything they touch, they want to destroy anything domestically American made. That's their goal in their life, is to destroy American businesses. Our job is to overcome that. And through the Trump administration, our president, who stood up for Americans' jobs and made sure that we could keep manufacturing here in this country, he's been on our side. He's been for the American worker, and he is standing and fighting every single day to make sure we can continue to grow here, expand here, hire American workers, can pay their bills and make their mortgage payments, and keep this company going like it should be, and this country strong like it should be each and every day.
When American companies are strong, they can take care of their employees. Wellborn delivers quality products, quality jobs. They are people who care.
As an American company, we're known for high quality and excellent delivery and good service. You couldn't ask for a better group of people to work with. We've got employees here that's been here and retired at over 40 years. They're some of the best people you could imagine. People who care is on our trucks. And that's not just a saying, we mean that.
Juan, how long have you been working here at Wellborn?
24 años. Yo estaba en Miami y no conseguí trabajo. Y entonces, después de un mes, vine para acá. Estuve trabajando en las polleras. No me gustó eso. Me puse a trabajar con Wellborn y he estado con ellos ya 24 años. Buena experiencia con la compañía.
And do you feel that this is part of your family? How has Wellborn helped you?
Sure, I think it's part of my family. I mean, they believed in me. I believed in them. I mean, and they have shown me that they will fight. They'll fight for the people, fight for everyone here.
Wellborn means the world to me. I've spent my whole life here. I've been with the company going on 39 years now. Started when I was 18 years old, and I've watched us grow from a small company to what we are today.
We're in a building here that's over 100,000 square feet. It will double our production. This used to be a cotton field here when we first came in 1961. My father bought the property here, and we built our first building there in 1961. And now we have close to 2 million square feet in this plant and 1,400 employees that work every day and do a wonderful job.
And what does Wellborn mean to you?
Wellbore means a lot to me. I come from the cabinet industry, been in it 35 years right now, and I came from Canada and I moved to Alabama. So I moved my whole family to Alabama. So this plant means everything. I actually built a log home 10 minutes up the road so I can live close to the plant. Wellborn has been really good with me, and we've grown our whole family around Wellborn.
What do other employees see in Wellborn?
They say family. Family is something that we instill here. We have a lot of families in this company that the whole family members work here at the company and have spent their whole careers here. And so Wellborn name to us just means family.
Any working mother knows the challenges faced by balancing a family and career. Wellborn goes above and beyond for the women in their workforce.
Wellborn employs about 1,300 people. As of this day, we have 555 women that are employed at Wellborn Cabinet. And of that percentage of women, there's a lot of them that need daycare. So in 2002, we came to the realization that that would be a great benefit for Wellborn Cabinet. We built a daycare, and the best thing about our daycare is the children can stay here until their mothers get off from work. Whereas the other daycares in the community, they had to pick their children up at a certain time. And as I said, women are very vital to Wellborn Cabinet.
What is it like to be a woman working here knowing you have that ability to take care of your child right here on premises?
That was actually one of the greatest things that I think we have here as far as, being a future mom. When I found out I was pregnant, I knew I didn't have to run around trying to find a place for my child to go. I knew I had a place. He was right across the street. If anything were to happen, I can go over there anytime. Our daycare is excellent. If you ask anybody around the town, our daycare is very much a place where people would love to take their kids. I love what Wellborn provides for the community as far as they have a daycare for their employees, a gym, so you don't even have to go far. Your spouse can even use the gym. They offer a lunchroom, so you don't have to go far to leave campus in order to get food. They provide healthcare, a doctor that comes on site. I mean, you don't literally have to leave campus in order to find something. I'm not a mom, but when I am one day, that would give me a lot of comfort knowing I can just walk across the street, have lunch with my child, and come back. This community is a small community, and Wellborn is one of the largest, if not the largest, employer in this community. And if it went away, so would the community. It would follow. And I don't know if you've ever went through communities in small towns that don't exist anymore. And I feel like if Wellborn didn't give the jobs that we do now, we would no longer exist as the community that we are. People would have to move, find new jobs, their kids come out of school, and I think it would just be very, very heartbroken, and Clay County would not be what it is today without Wellborn.
This community is built on the cabinet manufacturing, and Wellborn Cabinet being one of the biggest ones. If China was able to take that industry over to their country, then it would absolutely destroy this county and this city, because it would put a lot of people out of work. I know Wellborn is the largest employer here in Ashland, and we'd have a lot of people that would be sitting at home looking for jobs outside the county.
This is a family business. What does that mean to you?
I love it because you get to meet so many people, and there's so many families out here. But I'm one of the third generations in the family to work here at the plant. It's nice to work with people from the community that I've grown up with.
Wellborn employs so many people here in this community. How else are you helping this small town?
You know, one of my favorite things that Wellborn does for the community is they support a kind of foundation called Big Oak Ranch. And what that is where children whose, unfortunately their family, maybe they can't support them or they, had drug issues, they actually can go and live on campus and they have a mom and a dad that takes care of them and raises them and helps them find jobs. And my family are just huge supporters of helping anybody in the community that needs help.
Walt and Lisa Runyon own Planters Hardware, a community fixture for over 120 years. They know the importance of Wellborn to the community.
Well, of course, they're one of our biggest industries here in this very small rural community. Not only do they employ many of the people that live here, but also in our outlying areas. And so it's really important to see, because those people then come back into this town and they shop at our stores and they visit our restaurants, and so it really is a boost to our economy.
Wellborn is obviously important to the employees, but you're also helping children and families in the community on such a high level. What would happen if the Chinese Communist Party would come in and try to take you over and put you guys out of business? What would happen to this community?
Well, in this small area, in a county as small as Clay County with 14,000 people, that's a lot of people that would lose their livelihood.
Mayor Larry Fettner has led Ashland for nearly 20 years. He owns Clay County Tire and Retread. He proudly testified in the World Trade case that Wellborn won 5-0.
It would crush the economy in the city and the county and even the East Alabama and the state. It would crush our economy because if people are not working, they're not spending money. So it would really crush us if this continued to go on like it was.
Tell me about the people in this town.
Well, it's a tight-knit community. Ashland is one of the few places that still feels like family when you live here. Wellborn Cabinets is where my mom and dad both worked during my childhood, and then my mom just retired from Wellborn's in the last few years, and I know a lot of people that still work at Wellborn Cabinets. I have family working there most of my life.
The heartbeat of a community is its people. That's really what it's all about. And that's what our people have helped us create a company over the years that makes us second to none. I mean, they helped us grow, they helped us in the good times and the bad times. That's why the people that we've interviewed today, like my father, he's been here the longest. He's seen his people help this company grow from the very beginning, that cotton field he talked about, all the way to a major manufacturer in this country.
Well, I think that it's so important that we keep as much as we possibly can made in America. I mean, this does so much for our economy, and that was part of our greatest challenge. So the more things that we can keep local and keep made in America, the more we have control over those situations. It is paramount that we keep companies like Wellborn that employ as many people as they do here in this community.
This story is how Wellborn and Ashland, Alabama fought and preserved the American dream in their community. I'm Erin Elmore, and we are USA Strong.